Good morning, everybody. It's Roboguap here. I am back where it all started. A year ago, I started streaming. This was something I started doing because it was my birthday week. I was on vacation, and here we are again. Um, Today is, in fact, my birthday. So, I was watching a lot of videos regarding the state of Destiny 2 and where it's at. And I've been taking a break for a little bit from not playing Destiny just because there's nothing going on as a returning or a player that's been playing for a while since the final shape and everything came out. The Edge of Fate was not received well. Renegades was mixed reviews, and now we have a state of the game where we are going to go through a content drought. Now, this game is no stranger to the content drought, but now there's a little bit of bad feelings, and it's mostly been PvP. Now it's going to be everybody. No content that is new, no updates that is new, and there's just been a lot of things that have not gone well for this game. Whether it was Marathon coming out and the art fiasco, now it's like they took everybody that was working on Destiny to Marathon. Whatever it may be, you only know what's really going on if you're an actual game developer or have ever worked on a game. And people have very strong opinions about this game because it has been around for 10 years plus. And myself, I have tried to distance myself to not get jaded or pushed away from the game. I've invested a lot of time. I've invested a lot of, many hours into the game. And I've been racking my brain for a year now. Content creators do videos back to back because they're feeding on the drama. They're feeding on, whatever's going on currently. They go and give guides and all this. Myself, my thing has been trying to get you guys into the game. New players, try to get y'all invested, and just looking at ways to keep y'all engaged without burning y'all out on the game with all my videos just being Destiny. So where I'm at today is I was kind of looking at Destiny from the view of what can we do to make things exciting to get again. And the first thing that came to mind was the exotic class items from the final shape. Now, when they first dropped, everybody was thinking that there was going to be, I guess, an unlimited combination kind of thing, which did not end up happening. Now, what you have is several perks from different exotic items. Not all exotic items, but just certain. So what I have here is one that has a armor piece exotic trait of Hoarfrost and Contact. So this is nothing new. Everybody that's been playing understands, what we're looking at. What's cool about it is my melee can cause lightning, and you can get, different perks from that. But as well, my barricade, and if you don't know what the barricade is and you're new to the game, the barricade is basically a shield. Well, now it's an ice shield. Instead of, if I take that off, I'm going to have to let it reload my shield. But this adds something different. This is a different effect. This is something that you don't get on a normal basis. You can't do it on your subclass. There is nothing in stasis, I don't believe, that turns your shield into a wall of ice. So when this armor piece came out, the actual armor piece, not the exotic class item, it was something different. You only get Towering and Rally Barricade with your Stasis subclass. So if we go back, it won't let me. Oh yeah, well, okay. We go back. This is your normal Rally Barricade, Rally, whatever that you have. So I got to thinking. I'm like, why don't we have legendary class items with exotic traits? And not, the most powerful part of it, because the exotic class items do not have the most powerful effects. Now, when you combine them, that's where the power comes from. Something like Syntheseps and Most Light. Something like Syntheseps and what's the other one everybody would go after? Any combination almost with Syntheseps was, sought after. And the only way you could get it was the exotic mission or going to the destination and basically farming the public event activity and the chests in that event that drop. So my head, I'm thinking, why not put something like that in all the destinations? Why not put some sort of chase item or chase perk that you can get from a destination from an exotic item? And it doesn't have to be the strongest, but it does have to be useful. You can get a Star Eater class item. You can get a and it just stick to the armor as well. You want to use things that come from the chest piece. So for example, on Thunder Crash, Caress of Falling Star, with the Thunder Crash, damage grants damage resistance after impact. So why not get this second part where melee final blows while amplified grants super energy, but on a legendary class item? And what got me thinking this way is because in Path of Exile, you get drops of basic gear, not unique gear, but you get basic gear that can have different attribute distribution increases, whether it be a 5% increase to a 10% increase. You can get that on a normal or magic item in Path of Exile. So in Destiny 1, we had armor pieces that was giving us these sort of armor perks back in the day. So now we have these back again, right? We have armor perks back in Destiny 2. Why not do that with our exotic perks or some sort of add-on to make these legendary chases worth it? And they're currently dropped a tweet discussing different changes, different things of that nature, which is good in my opinion. But I feel like the only way you're going to reach a large audience is you got to drop a Vidoc. And it doesn't have to be what's coming. It can be what went wrong. Why are we at the state we're at? But they have to be transparent. Grinding Gear Games is very transparent in between their updates. Whether they're meeting a deadline or not meeting a deadline, Grinding Gear Games will come out and say, this is what's going on. When the Druid was supposed to be coming out, they had to push it back. Well, they had a live stream and explained why the Druid is not working and they can't bring it out. They didn't go into deep detail. They just said, this effect is happening and we can't get it to fix in time for the drop. So this is what we're doing. This is what's coming. This is what's coming in the next update you're going to see, and so on and so forth. and they don't do many live streams until right before something comes up. So if there's like a 911 emergency and they know it's not coming out, they're very upfront, and they have a live stream and they talk to everybody about what's going on. So why not do that, Bungie? Why not have your community manager come out and just give a heads up? Hey, I have some notes here from everybody at the team. You guys were right. We were doing marathon. Everybody was focused on marathon. All hands on deck. I'm the community manager, but I had experience doing this. So that's why you didn't hear from me much. Whatever it may be. If the focus is marathon, we all know it was marathon. But just be upfront about it. Be transparent. Don't hide behind, we are sorry. Information's coming soon. Roadmap coming soon. And then never come out with a roadmap. Never come out and say what happened. Sorry doesn't cut it anymore. This is a 10-year game. And in both ways. 10 years in the amount of time, and tenure as in the amount of experience. You can't tell me that you are okay with just saying sorry to your players. You've taken our money. You shove stuff down our throats all the time with microtransactions, and every week it's a different thing, and every drop it's microtransaction after microtransaction. You're telling me you can make more microtransactions, and then you can be transparent and upfront about why your game is falling behind? You're telling me you'd rather just say sorry than explain to what's going on and have the players understand your point of view? Because we all know making a game takes a lot of work. We get it. But when you're not transparent about where that work is going or where our money is going, you don't have to go into detail. You just got to say, hey, we're running into an issue. We're making a new dungeon, or we're making a new adjustment to subclasses, or whatever it may be. This is taking time. And that's it. You don't have to go into depth. But we're only getting, we're sorry, we'll update you soon, this, and that. And I feel like any little thing would be better than we're sorry. A lot of players have left your game. Nobody is sticking around. Sorry isn't going to keep everyone around forever. There's those positive streamers out there. I myself try to be positive about the game by not saying much. But I just feel like this is kind of at a point where, if a game that has a free-to-play aspect to it can add so much to their game and so much depth and take so much time in the phase of being a early access game, I think Bungie needs to take notes or pass the torch on to NetEase, because apparently NetEase is doing something better than they are. It's their first Destiny game with Destiny Rising, and they've had positive reception. They've done raids. They've done everything that Destiny has always had. If you can't cut it by doing it on your own, then maybe you should step back and have NetEase step in and help you. And maybe that's a direction Sony should be looking at. Maybe NetEase needs to step in and give y'all hands, since Marathon is what's more important. Because for the history that Destiny has had and the amount of issues that has come up in the past and the amount of times that they have not met deadlines but never been transparent about it, if you want to play your cards close to your chest, then fine. But your game does not have that wow factor it used to have, to where people are just waiting for that next drop. People are leaving. People are going in droves. And something as simple as putting exotic perks on a legendary item to make the legendary items worth grinding, or whatever it may be. But I think the biggest thing that everyone has always talked about is that wow factor of finding a piece of armor is gone, or that wow factor of finding a weapon is gone. I feel like the tier system on the armor and weapons is a good step in the right direction. But I think if you added an exotic weapon perk onto some of these legendaries that are, the holofoils or whatever, the holofoils should have maybe a exotic perk that you can earn on them. Take it another step up on the tier 5s, because you're right there. But those exotic perks should not be as easy to find as what they've become with tier 5s. I mean, they have to be the rarest of the rare with the tier 5s. And people will grind out for something like that, I think. They will grind out for an exotic perk on a legendary item that's holofoil. The wow factor is there. The rarity is there. And you'll just have, you'll have some interest in your game again, I think. It's worth trying out something like that, I believe. I believe it's worth trying out something that other games have been doing. Like Path of Exile. And I don't mean to shove, other games down this game's throat. But they're at a point, at a crossroads, where they need to change it up. Because why not have a legendary item drop in a raid or a dungeon that can have an exotic perk on it? It can be super rare. I mean, the drop chance can be like 2%, 1%. Whatever Galahorn used to be, make it that percentage. On these items that have the exotic perks on them. But at least there's some kind of substance there to bring people in. I mean, we're talking, let's see, a gauntlet with just one part of Syntheseps. A gauntlet that you gain increased melee and super damage. That's it. Or a gauntlet that gives you improved weapon handling and reload speed. Just something else added to the legendary to make it really a legendary drop. Not just what it is now. Because this is good. But if we had another line, or a mod, maybe mods start dropping that can do that. Maybe we start getting mod drops that have legendary tier, exotic tier. Exotic tier is the exotic weapon or exotic armor. We can do that. Now you can't be overpowered with everything here. Now you insert a mod that is a legendary drop or an exotic drop. It doesn't have to be legendary and exotic. Maybe the game can't handle that. I mean, I get it. But maybe we start adding exotic mods the same way we're adding them into these Arms Day events. And now my SMG can do, something that a stasis exotic can do. I mean, the game is just right there to have a little bit more to it. We got the traits that drop on here. Maybe have this Taken Ambition be a mod that can drop, or maybe we have Panic Response be a mod that can drop, and we can put that on a legendary strand submachine gun, like or an auto rifle. But there's something there to be said that we can add, and you're doing it already. So make these exotic traits be mods that can go into guns and make them rare, and then narrow it down to where it's not just overpowering everything. It's just, one perk. Maybe a Kvostov Eyes Up Guardian mod, and this can go in any weapon. That might be OP, but it'll be something to chase. It'll be something different that can drop, and just give it all the drop chance of the Gjallarhorn of what it used to be. I think mods for armor and weapons like that would be worth the chase. You can have a Wither Horde mod that drops for grenade launchers. I mean, where's Wither Horde? Do I have Wither Horde? I don't even think I have Wither Horde. Oh yeah, I do. Make a Primeval's Torment mod to put in a grenade launcher. I don't even have the catalyst. That's crazy. I mean, there's things you can do, whether or not they're gonna do it, or whether or not they've thought of it, or whether or not it's possible. I mean, because we all know a subclass isn't in the works. We all know that's not coming. And people have been asking for that for years. Maybe rework. Well, not rework, because Prismatic is in a pretty good spot. But I feel like maybe you change up and add a different grenade combination. Maybe instead of arc and strand, you get solar and void, or if it's not solar and void, solar and stasis, the way the hunter has. And then a hunter can get a different grenade that way. There just has to be different ways to shake up the game and make it fresh again. I mean, the final shape can't be the end. These other DLCs are not where it's at right now, and there's plenty to do right now. There's plenty to do, but everybody's so burnt out because they haven't changed up things like legendary armor till now, or they haven't changed up exotic drop chances. Nothing just feels exotic anymore. Legendary doesn't feel exciting. But I think adding the exotic perk onto a legendary item would probably shake it up a bit. And all you got to do is just add a mod, or, I mean, how long that would take, I don't know. But a roadmap for that, I think that's possible. That's more possible than talking about everything you got to fix in the game that you messed up with Edge of Fate. But I don't know. I don't want to do this stream on YouTube for too long, but that's just where my head's at. I feel like the game can change up with some mods. The game can change up with some things like that. And it won't take much. It's how long it would take to make those exotic mods that can go into legendary armor, or exotic mods that can go into legendary weapons, just to make them a little bit more chaseable or worth grinding. Or maybe it's just a tier 5 that can do it. Maybe we could do that to the tier 5s. You can have an extra mod slot, put an exotic in it. A tier 5 armor can have an exotic slot, and you can get something like that. I mean, there's ways to go about it, but I just feel like there's untapped potential that they either are shooting too high and thinking that it's going to make a difference, or they're playing it too safe because they don't want to change up the game too much. But I think the game needs to be changed up. If we're not getting a Destiny 3, if we're not getting any kind of new DLC, little things like mods that they're throwing in to Arms Day events and things like that, if that's just a normal part of the game now, then you got something to chase. You can go to, different parts and earn different mods. But that's all I have to say. I'm going to go to Twitch. If you'd like to join me on Twitch, I will be on Twitch probably the rest of the day. I'll be making shorts regarding this quick stream. And I just want to say thank you guys for checking out the video and this stream that I did. So leave a comment if you agree. Give me a follow if you agree with this idea. And I'll probably do another one later on. I got lots of ideas floating in my head. This is the first one that I wanted to get out there today. So follow me on here. Leave a comment if you agree to this. It's only going to be a 26-minute video. Thank you for joining if you watched all the way through. And come watch me on Twitch. I'll continue playing, and I'll be you can comment and talk about the video after you watch it, and we can just keep this conversation going. But yeah, come join me on Twitch and give me a follow, and we'll keep doing this all day today. Thanks, guys.